Alright, let's get it going. My name's Anthony. I'm making this video, and I'm starting this YouTube channel in general for people who are battling, struggling in life in different areas, different topics in life that may be hindering some people's growth as human beings and not allowing you to enjoy and experience life the way that it's meant to be experienced. Just a little about me. I'm a 28-year-old kid who lives, or a grown man at this point, who lives at in New York City, in Queens, New York. I look young, but I've been through a lot of shit in my life. Like I said, I'm almost 30 now, and I've battled with addiction, alcoholism, drug abuse, eating disorders. I have a plethora of experience with different struggles in life, and I know during my time of going through these struggles, the hardest thing to do was reach out for help or to find people in my life who could relate to me fully and understand and see me for what I am and what I'm going through. And the goal of this YouTube channel in general is not fame, it's not money, it's not public notoriety, it's none of that bullshit. I'm just being real here. I'm just another dude. I'm like anybody watching this video. My goal is to inspire somebody else to understand that you're not alone, and the shit that you're going through, somebody else did in the world as well. And that's the main goal of this channel. So I'm going to start with my personal history with addiction. And for me, it started at a young age. I was probably about 14 years old when I started to really drink alcohol, and like really drink alcohol. And it was at first, because I always hung out with older people in my lifetime. So when I was 14, I was hanging out with kids that were like 25, 26, neighbors who were like 26, 27 even. And I worked with some kids some guys part-time who were like 30. And moral of the story is I was very mature for my age. I always have been. I got along better with older people for whatever reason. Can't tell you why, excuse me. But I just had this level of maturity at such a young age that I always did well around the older group of people. So obviously when I'm a 14-year-old and I'm hanging out with that age group, even like 18-year-olds and shit, they would live that lifestyle, partying, drinking, anything of that nature. So I was around it as a kid, and I would dabble into it here and there, and it was fun. Like, I'm going to be honest with you guys, it was fun. It was fun for the early stages of that. 14, 15, 16, I'm living it up. I'm partying with older people. I got like all this experience. I'm like the coolest kid in school because I got this, I got that, and like all this. They all know me for hanging out with older people, and it's like a big thing, and I'm getting all this attention. And I'm fiending for it at that point, which shows that I had inner self-reflection I needed to do, because none of that should affect you in life. You shouldn't need anything from anybody. But the truth of the matter is, like, as time built and I was doing these things more and more throughout the years, 14, 15, 16, you get to a certain age and it's like that stuff starts to die down a little bit. And especially I started so young. So when I turned like 22, 23, I was already out of that lifestyle. I didn't want to go to parties. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. But I noticed that the drinking particularly maintained through those years, where I would drink on the weekends, right? I would go out, get a bottle of vodka, whatever it is, hang out with a few friends, drink, get really drunk. And in time, it became worse, where I would get blackout drunk. And even as time progressed from that, it was like those same friends that I was drinking with and hanging out with, I ended up cutting out of my life slowly for whatever reason. A fallout here, fallout there. You go through ups and downs with people in your life. Not everybody's meant to be consistent. You're not meant to be in somebody's life forever. And I noticed that in time, as people started falling out of my life, whether moving to a different country, whether moving to a different state, anything of that nature, some passing away. I had friends that have died in this life, whether drugs, alcohol, all that. And the point is that as they fell off and everything started to come down for me, and they're gone. Because I'll be honest, I'm a dropout. I'm a high school dropout. I left school when I was probably my junior year of high school, I would say. I was getting into a lot of fights in school, and I dealt with a lot of issues, just being real. I was drinking during my school days, and I pulled out of school and finished it online after getting myself together for the most part. But it took some work. It took a lot of work, actually. And like I said, so dropping out of school and isolating away from people was my defense mechanism, and it was the way that I ran away from my problems. And what I did was I noticed that drinking stayed consistent throughout my life while everything else didn't, right? So I would be drinking weekends, and then I noticed that I was drinking 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days, etc., and it just continued to get worse and worse and worse. And in the moment, and even in my own mind, it's like I'm just sitting home, I'm gaming all the time, playing Call of Duty with homies, like doing shit like that, and we're all just drinking on like a Zoom call or something. Back in the day, it was called Skype and shit, and we would just talk and like drink and all cool, and it's all fun. It's all fun, and I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm thinking I'm a guy having fun and just living life. And in time, you realize that you become so dependent on what you're doing that you completely lose all self-control. And that's what happened. I lost all self-control. I relied on alcohol to get me through days, and it became to every day I lived, I was only alive for the alcohol. Literally. I noticed that the friends I had in my life weren't my real friends. I noticed that the path I was on was leading me to nowhere. I noticed that if I was to continue doing what I was going to do, I was either going to die or I was going to be homeless, leave myself nowhere in the future. And my goal is to make sure that I can express how important it is to seek help early and make sure you tell somebody about the problem you have. Be open. Be willing to express yourself. Because if you're not, you're not going to get where you need to be. You're just not. So, back to the story is I ended up drinking every day of my life. Every day. I was 300 pounds. I was drinking every day. I was smoking cigarettes. And at this point, I'm like 20 years old max. And I've lost myself at this point. I'm just completely engulfed into addiction. And I was going through it. And then after time, people in my life, friends that I had, would tell me like, yo, you good? Like everything's all right? You sure? Like you all right? Because they're noticing like at this point now, I don't come out the house. I don't do anything that I used to do. I'm stuck in my room. I'm playing video games. I'm giving up on life. Depression has gotten to me because everything seemed to have fallen out of my life. All the other friends I have from school, all the things that I'm moving on from are just like eating at me, you know what I'm saying? And they're eating at my mind. And I at the time, I never gave that shit attention. I never actually thought about that. And I just thought like, it's just a part of life. But little did I know, subconsciously, that shit was killing me. Like that shit was ripping me apart. And I was using the alcohol to hide from that. And that takes a lot to understand, because in the time, I never would have said those words. It's only till you come out do you see and reflect and be able to process what you were doing in the time. So I was clearly using the alcohol for suppression and for running. That's what I tend to do. I run from problems. And it's a big thing I'm working on right now. It's a thing I still work on to this day. And anybody dealing with addiction, I just want you to know you're not alone. And you can overcome it, because I did. And you're going to. You're going to. But you have to want to. That's another thing about it. You can't just overcome addiction because you say you're going to. You have to truly want to get past that stage of your life. And you want to truly get better in life, in every aspect, not just the addiction. You want to level up. You know what I'm saying? You want to go every single day getting 1% better. 1% better is the goal. And every small victory is a victory, and you should celebrate it. You stop drinking for a day, that's a victory. Even if you drink a whole pint of vodka the next day, you stop that one day, that's a victory if you're doing it every day. You know what I'm saying? So give yourself the credit when you deserve it. Because addicts, I notice, me specifically, we are our own hardest critic. Like we demean ourselves and we put ourselves down. And usually that's the stem of all addiction in general, is not having the love and the care for your own self. And that stems from childhood trauma. That comes from different places. But the addiction itself is just a crutch. It's something you're using to run. You may not feel it in the moment. I don't know when you're watching this video. You could be long into your journey of addiction. You could be just starting. But you are running from something, whether you like it or not. And I didn't believe it. My friends would tell me, you have to go to therapy. You have to figure out what you're running from. You got to figure out your own personal trauma. And I would just think it's bullshit. I would think it's bullshit. And I would take it offensive. And it would make me ruin relationships with people because I thought that they were trying to tell me, shit that I didn't want to hear. But deep down, after time and growing and understanding, they were right. Like, they were absolutely right. I was running from mental health problems, and that was the way I chose to do it, because I've watched other people in my life go down that path. And subconsciously, I picked up those things, and I ended up doing the same. And I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to feel like every day in life you have nothing to look forward to. And you feel no love, you feel no emotion, you're numb to everything. You have apathy, there's nothing there. And if you're feeling that right now, I promise you, keep pushing forward. Have the goal in mind to get better. Have the understanding that I'm not going to stay in this place forever. And if you want to succeed and get better, you will. You're going to overcome addiction, I promise you. But work towards it. Every day, chip away. One little pebble here, one little pebble there. After a while, you got a bag of rocks. You know what I'm saying? You got a bag of rocks. And now you've chipped away a lot. And there's just a little bit left to work towards. But the one thing I will make clear is, once you're an addict, you're an addict. I haven't drank in 8 years. I've been sober. Completely. I don't drink. And it took a lot of work to get to that point. Self-work, inner work with myself and understanding. Listening to podcasts, understanding my self-worth, going to other people in my life that I'm lucky and blessed to have that have shown me how to have confidence in myself, how to appreciate life for what it truly is, how to experience those things, how to experience love, how to move forward without needing anything, and learning that all the value you need in life is right here. It's inside of you. There's nothing else in life that could fulfill you more than yourself. I promise. It's there. And it's just about getting to it. It may be hidden behind bullshit, trauma, and scars and pain and loss. All that shit adds up, and it's in there. You have to remove that and remove the blockages within your life to succeed and to feel happiness again and to get back to where you want to be. And alcoholism and addiction in general doesn't have to be a forever thing. You could overcome that shit. Once you set your mind to it, you're going to do it. Anything you ever set your mind to, you could accomplish. That's not just a little cliche. That's a fact of life. Like, that's the truth. And you have to believe that truth. And every day you have to work towards it. And I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, like, I'm completely over addiction. You never really are. You live with that demon. It's in you. You know it's there, but you could learn to coexist. And once you can learn coexistence, and this goes for a lot of things in life, once you could coexist with certain things, your power is endless. You could overcome anything life throws at you at that point. Because once you overcome the thing you feel is the hardest and has you in a grasp, and you overcome that, then what else is going to stop you? Think about it. You overcome this addiction, you could go get that job you want. You know what I'm saying? You could change your perception of yourself. You could get yourself healthy. You could look better. I lost 140 pounds after I dropped the addiction. You know what I mean? And I got myself together because I knew I didn't want to live that life for the rest of it. Like, that wasn't a life I was living. That was me hiding in a shell. And I want people to know that you're not alone. And I want this channel and this comment section and all that shit to be a community of people who know struggle. And people who have been through the mud and want to get out. And that's my goal here with this channel. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with any of that. I just want one person to watch this video feel affected. And once that can happen, I've succeeded with this channel. So, in the comment section below, I want you guys to comment different stories. Because we're all different people. Many walks of life are on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We all been through different things. So, I would love to hear your guys' comments in the comment section of things you're going through. And if you need somebody to talk to, I'll be there in the comments. I'll respond to you best I can. I'll give you the best advice I can. And I can relate. And to know that somebody else has been through it and has lived that, we can only really relate to each other and make each other understand certain things. With that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching the video. It's new for me. I never made a video in my life. Something just moved me to do this today and made me feel like this was the right thing to do. I just want to help people, truly, because I had people in my life that have helped me recently. And I'm blessed to have them in my life, so I want to be that for somebody else. And I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying I could affect everybody that watches this video, but I do want to let people know that they're not alone, and there is other people that are going through the shit you're going through. And it's okay. You're perfectly normal. You know what I mean? And your struggle is valid. It's okay. And you're going to get past it. Once you choose that you want to get over this, you will work towards the steps of getting over it. And there'll be people in your life that you can reach out to and you can talk to that will get you through it. And I want to be a person that can help you in one way or another, even if it's just listening to this video and feeling the sympathy and the relation, the connection between someone else who's been there and knows what you're going through every night when you're suffering, internally suffering, and not knowing where to turn. You could always turn to this channel. That's my goal. So thank you guys for watching. It's my first video ever. If you like the video, like it, subscribe, do all that stuff. I don't even know how this shit works. I don't care. It wasn't the point of this video. So I hope it could get to one person. Appreciate y'all.